Yeah, wait a second.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, Culers, and welcome back to Barca Universal. As you can see, welcome back to a brand new live stream. I'm sure a lot of the fans in the live chat are happy today. I know these two joined with me today are very happy. First of all, Hafed, welcome to the live again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again. Great to be back.
And Alex, thanks again for coming on again, mate.
Thank you for the invite, Pablo. Nice to join you guys here for a new episode.
Okay, so in today's live stream, we should have a decent amount to talk about. Actually, there's been quite a lot of Barca news actually in the last few weeks. I think Laporta is trying to ramp up sales and trying to ramp up the financial situation, trying to almost eradicate it so that Messi can renew, so that we can get new signings, so that we can survive the mess that Bartomeu put us into. But we're going to start with Messi in today's live stream. Of course, I'm sure all of you guys saw Messi has won the Copa America with Argentina. Argentina have won their first official trophy since 1993, I think, 28 years. And of course, it's Messi's first title with the Argentina national team. It's big for him. It's big for him. If there ever was a debate, in my opinion, there isn't for the greatest of all time, but it's big in that regard for some Ronaldo fans, I'm sure. And it's huge for Messi personally. Let's start with you, Barca boy. I know you're a massive Argentina fan, so let's hear your thoughts on Messi and the whole Argentina situation.
Oh my God, man! I haven't slept since the game. It's just a fantastic buzz. It's just so happy to see Messi finally win that trophy with Argentina. You hear, all these GOAT debates and stuff. Every time they bring it up, Messi never won anything with Argentina. Yeah. 4 finals, doesn't matter. He never won. And now he's finally lifted the trophy. It's a very emotional night for me. I've been watching Argentina for a long time before Barcelona, and they finally won the trophy. Didn't matter what it was. They just needed a trophy, and now 7 Ballon d'Ors coming.
And Alex, what are your thoughts, mate, on the whole Argentina Messi situation? Big win last night.
Yeah, definitely really happy for Leo, for the whole Argentinian team. It's a big moment. Now the senseless debate is over. Whoever wants to keep on barking or I don't know, putting it out there makes no sense, Let's take into consideration Messi also got to a final of a World Cup, many finals of the Copa America, lost in the penalties, which is a complete gamble.
Yeah.
Finally, he got what he deserved. And not only he got what he deserved, but top scorer and top assists. So he nailed it in the Copa America. Not only he won it, but he nailed it.
I think he's the first player in a tournament to win the best player, top goal scorer, top assist, and also win the tournament as well internationally. So,
what can we say? That's Messi. Alex, I'll go straight back to you for more Barcelona-centered Messi situation. All we've been hearing over the last months is that Messi's going to renew his contract with Barcelona. That's still looking good, but with our financial situation, there've been some issues now. So, is Messi still going to renew? Give us your thoughts.
Right, so it's all opinion based on what I've read, on the information that I have. Messi and Barcelona have an agreement, right? The agreement is pretty much sealed, so it's closed. Messi wants to continue, and they've also agreed on a salary reduction around 50%. So everything is set, and now we're just waiting for some departures, basically. Financial, legal stuff. Nothing to worry about. I'm sure that Joan Laporta has everything set up. Obviously, right now, we are waiting for these departures to be executed in a nice way. If not, if the players who are set to be departing aren't going to be agreeing, then Laporta is going to have to kick them out, And when those players are finally out, then Messi is going to finally sign in. And that's pretty much the whole story. So give it a few weeks, give it a few days. I don't know exactly when, but very soon.
Great. And I suppose we should move on to our financial situation then, because that is so linked into everything at the club right now. Everyone always asks about signings, about sales, about Messi, about what we can do as a club, and it all just ties into the absolute mess we're in financially. We're hearing we need to reduce in total before a few sales have been made. Is it 200 million on the wage bill, which is astronomical? It's unbelievable, and we're in trouble with the La Liga wage capping system. So that's what we're really trying to work out right now. We are moving players on, like Alenya. We're hearing Monchu's going to go in the next few days. We've already got rid of players like Todibo and Konrad. We're slowly getting some players out of the club, on top of others. And I'm sure in the next few weeks and months, we will see even more players go. But Barca Boy, our financial situation, what a disaster, and what are we going to have to keep doing to try and eradicate it, essentially?
I mean, gracias Bartomeu. I don't know what this man has done with this wage bill. I mean, there's been some leaks here and there about what the actual figures are, but essentially you have Messi as a top earner, then you have Griezmann on 700K a week. With that increasing contract each year, it gets more money. You have Pjanic on 300K a week. I don't know what makes you think to give that to a 30-year-old who Koeman didn't even want. You have Coutinho, 400K a week. The exits are going to be difficult because, again, the wages are going to be a problem. Because I think if you look at Coutinho and Pjanic, for example, if they go out on loan, we're still going to end up paying something for it. There's no club in the world that can pay close to the full amount for both those players. And the most important thing is just to get rid of them at any point. I think Pjanic is very likely to leave. I think Coutinho, I've been calling for a loan move to the Premier League for a long time now. I think that's still the case. And then you have to look at the lower players as well. You look at Neto, Firpo already out the door. Look at maybe possibly Roberto. I think the veterans of the club as well have to take a wage cut. Jordi Alba, Busquets, and Jordi Alba, Busquets, and Roberto, because PK's already agreed to it, which is great. And then you have the big question of Antoine Griezmann. We'll talk about it in a few minutes when you bring it up. We'll talk about his wages real quick. I think if he does reduce his wages, he can stay at the club. But if, of course, he doesn't, he has to leave. There's no way. It's either Griezmann or Messi, and it's Messi every single day of the week. So we're being a lot of reports saying they both can't stay at the club this summer, which is true. But I do believe if Griezmann agrees to a wage cut, he can stay. But if he doesn't, he's going to have to leave. So big moves by Juan Laporta are going to be happening in the next month or so. He's done well so far. The window's only been open for 11 days. He's got rid of Firpo, Todibo, Alinea, Hakimi, Conrad, Trincao, Miranda, Mateus, and Monchi's going to leave in the next few days. He's done well so far, but again, those sales are very easy. The tough ones are about to come right now. Pjanic, Coutinho, Neto, those type of players.
Definitely. And Alex, I want to ask you about the financial situation as well, because I'm sure you'd have a lot to say on it, because it's probably something we knew was happening, wasn't it, for the last 2-3 years? We were hearing things in the press. We knew stuff was going on, but it's kind of only now that we've got a proper president and we're realizing, hold on a minute, we can't go any further as a club now with this much debt. It's just getting it's got out of hand. And, what's your thoughts on the whole situation? Can Laporta get us out of it?
Right. So basically, Bartomeu's strategy during the last 3, 4, 5 years was to increase the revenues of the club in such a way he wanted to become, he wanted to make Barcelona the club with the most revenue, right? So we hit 1 billion euros, which is great, but the expenses were increasing at the same pace, which didn't make any sense, right? So we were actually creating a moment, a very dangerous moment. And indeed, COVID hit, and obviously the expenses were still there, while the revenues dropped dramatically by around 300 million euros. So the problem is set at this point, right? We could blame one side or the other side, basically COVID or Bartomeu, but it's a combination of both. What happened here? Obviously, Bartomeu has all the blames because this strategy that he had wasn't sustainable. And we had to get ready for something. I don't know, maybe not a COVID, like a pandemic, worldwide pandemic, but something. We basically had no cushion, and now we're in a very bad situation. Laporta obviously is going to try to do everything possible. I think that he has everything set up. I really believe that he has everything set up. In terms of, for example, players like Griezmann that have an incredible wage, nobody's going to pay that to Griezmann in another club. So what is he going to do? You either stay and get a wage cut or leave and get another wage cut over there, because nobody's going to pay you what you earn here. Nobody. Then it makes no sense that he refuses to get a wage cut. I think it's a very slow process because you have to make an explicit agreement, single agreement with every single player. And that takes a while. I understand it. Each player puts its own conditions and all of that, but there's no other solution, and the money is just not there. So what do they want to do? Do they want to stay here and try to be selfish? I mean, the club is not sustainable. They're going to have to break down their contracts. I mean, so the situation is mandatory basically for the players. They're going to have to leave or take a wage cut. Otherwise, there's no other solution. And some players have already understood. Piqué, for example,
Yep.
simple, easy. He probably made it easy for Laporta, and the rest, they're gonna be slowly coming in with their wage deductions. But for example, players like Ilaix Moriba, this kid with his new agents, it's nothing about the kid; it's the agents. He's asking for an increase in a situation where this guy hasn't really showed that much. He played a bit, but you have some players before you, right? For example, Ricky Puig, he earns misery compared to what this kid, Ilaix Moriba, is asking to earn now. So it makes no sense. Ilaix Moriba certainly did a really bad move, moving to those agents, because his reputation is dropping by the second in a very fast way. So Ilaix Moriba, man, think about it.
Just quickly, Pablo, I want to add to that. Alejandro Balde is in the same situation. 1 year left on his contract. Jorge Mendes, the super agent with Ronaldo, the Portuguese man, he's in the same boat as well. Does not want to renew at the moment, and the club have not decided to promote him. He's not even doing preseason with the training with the first team, and he's supposed to be the backup left back to Jordi Alba this upcoming season. So it's a tough situation for both of these youngsters.
Yeah, definitely. And since you touched on that whole left back situation, actually, why not? Let's talk about it, because I think after Junior Firpo got sold, everyone thought surely Barcelona would bring in a replacement. There were even rumours that Barcelona could bring in 2 left backs if Jordi Alba was to be moved on for his wage bill. But it looks like Alba will be staying. Firpo has been sold, and it looks like Sergio Roberto could perhaps stay as that utility player, and then you have Dest and Emerson at the right back with Roberto. But then, either Dest or Roberto can play on the other side to cover Jordi Alba. What are your guys' thoughts on that? We've heard that Balde could be that replacement. Is it enough? And I'll go to you, Alex, I suppose, first, and then we'll come back to you again, Barca Boy, on the left-back situation, because, what would you do on that side? Because that's what it looks like is going to be happening right now. But could there be any changes, and what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's very unpopular what I'm about to say, but the easiest solution is basically to keep Sergio Roberto, give him a wage deduction, and keep him as a sub for the right back position, and have Sergio Dest as the sub of the left back position. In a desperate moment, you can have Sergio Dest on the left, Emerson on the right, and Sergio Roberto on the bench. So we can't spend money on players that we critically you know what I mean. So we need some critical additions. For example, a goalkeeper, if Neto is going to be leaving, I think maybe holding midfielder, a good substitute for Busquets could be a good addition. But I don't really see a desperate need of a left back. Having Jordi Alba in a good momentum, obviously he's getting older and more irregular every game. But you have Sergio Dest, Emerson, Sergio Roberto in the squad already. I don't think Sergio Roberto is going to be leaving. He's going to be agreeing wage deduction. So I think that's going to be the easiest solution in terms of the financial situation of the club. Obviously, the best would be to bring Gaia, sell Roberto, have Sergio Dest, Emerson as the right backs of the club. But, we have to adapt to the situation.
Definitely. You summarised that well. Barca Boy, I'm sure you've got a lot to say on the left back situation, because I think we've spoken about that quite a lot, haven't we, with the whole Gaia situation and whatnot. But what are your thoughts on the fullback spot at Barca?
Yeah, I agree with most of what Alex said. And the big point that he brought up was that right now the left back is the least of our priorities at the moment. I think a center back and a center mid is way more important. But again, I have to emphasize, do not rule out Jordi Alba or Roberto leaving the club, both on massive wages. If they don't reduce, I'm pretty sure Juan Laporta will get rid of them somehow. I think Roberto is going to stay. I said that in my video this morning. I think he's going to get a 2-year contract with a wage reduction. And we saw Emerson play left back in the game last night, so maybe he could be a substitute there as well. But the 4 fullbacks will be Emerson, Dest, Roberto, and Jordi Alba. Unfortunately, and if the injury comes in, suspension, you can see Alejandro Balde coming in. And that's going to be a situation at the moment. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Lots of can change over, the next few days. Everything is up and down at the moment. But again, I would bring in a left back. I would bring in Jose Gaia. I think Ronaldo's a good shout as well. But you have to make what you have right now. And right now, we can barely afford anyone. right now the priority is to get rid of the players, and maybe next summer we can bring in a new left back. Again, Alex said that you think Jordi Alba can survive the season by himself again. I do agree with that, but then again, we're one injury away from not having a left back. Mazvi goes in the first game, pulls his hamstring, and never comes back the same, right? It's a big risk. He's done it before in that 18-19 season when we had Juan Miranda, then Valverde didn't really trust him. But it is a risk, and I do believe he goes down injured, something like that, we'll be in the market for left back in the winter transfer window. So it's a particular situation, but yeah, it's going to be Roberto staying for sure, and then the 4 fullbacks, as I said.
Interesting. All right, we'll move on to a big topic, a topic that a lot of people have been speaking about in the comments of the live stream, and it is, of course, also on the thumbnail of the video. I put the two players we're going to speak about. The potential Antoine Griezmann and Saul from Atletico swap deal. We've already spoken a bit about Griezmann. We know he's on a huge wage, the second highest earner at the club behind Messi. So that's kind of why this situation has arose. And I think after last season ended, I don't think Griezmann was really on the top of anyone's list in terms of, we've got to sell that player, because Griezmann was a player who started a lot of games for Barcelona, all of the important ones essentially, barring a few here and there, to be fair, when Koeman made big calls, for example, in the second leg of the Copa del Rey against Sevilla. But still, Griezmann was an important player for Barcelona last season, the second top scorer. He got a lot of assists too. It seemed like he embedded in the team more. I don't think he was outstanding, but he was a big player. But I think we've come to this window, guys, and as we've seen, our financial situation is just so bad. So all of a sudden, it looks like Barcelona could and maybe will be getting rid of Griezmann this summer. That's led to rumours. We've already spoken about, another club isn't going to take Griezmann's wages. In addition to that, another club isn't going to pay really 60, 70 million for Griezmann, if we're being honest with ourselves too. So the more likely scenario that could happen has been a swap deal. An obvious swap deal for Griezmann would be back to Atletico. Whether there's any truth to these rumours, we don't quite know. But I do think it is something that could happen. We know that Griezmann, his family is settled in Spain. And I think, for example, if Griezmann was to move to Manchester, when I read those rumours, I just see that as so much more unrealistic. But the move back to Atletico with his family settled there in Spain, of course, they lived in Madrid for so long at Atletico. I see that as such more of a sustainable swap deal. Whether it will happen or not, we don't know, but it could be beneficial for our wage bill. Also, Saul could be that midfielder we need. I'm really torn on this transfer, to be honest. I really am. So I want to hear both your thoughts. We'll start with you, Barca Boy, for this one. Griezmann, Saul swap deal, and also Griezmann general future at the club. What are your thoughts?
So the rumors are true. Mateo Morito, Fabrizio Romano both came out saying that the rumors are true. They are considering a swap deal, and it's just because Griezmann's on massive wages. For me personally, I would not sell Griezmann. I want him to stay at the club. It's almost the same situation as like the fullbacks, right? You get rid of Griezmann, you'll have Ansu Fati and Dembele on one leg. Then you have a front three of Depay, Messi, and Aguero. All three of them, Aguero and Messi plus 30 years of age. You have Depay in the peak of his career. It's going to be another risk again. We're one injury away from bringing in Collado in the starting lineup. There's rumors that Griezmann wants to take a wage cut to join back Atletico Madrid, and my response to that is just take a wage cut and stay here.
Yeah,
Literally,
it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. I think a straight swap is robbery on our part. We're getting absolutely robbed. You have someone worth 30 million in the market. You have Griezmann 70 million. A straight swap is a robbery. And they already replaced him with Depay at Atletico Madrid. I tell you what, Depay, what a player he is.
Yeah, exactly.
I would take Saul to Barcelona, man. I think there's been reports coming out from Gabriel Sanz from Mundo Deportivo saying that, look, Ronald Koeman really likes Saul. He'd absolutely take him as that box midfielder. So would I, to be honest. But a straight swap, no, I want something else. Give me another player, 20 million, 25 million. Then you can consider, you tell the Griezmann, look, you reduce your wages, we're going to accept this offer. He says, I don't want to have reduce my wages. Okay. Swap, no problem. If he says yes, I would happily keep it at the club. And Ronald Koeman did come out the other day saying that he wants Griezmann to stay as well. Yeah. It's going to come down to whether or not Griezmann will reduce his wages at the club. If he says yes, he'll stay. If he says no, he'll be sold. That's what I'm 100% certain on.
Yeah, definitely. But I'll go to you in just a moment. It's kind of seemed weird the way that what we've heard is that the only way Messi stays is if Griezmann goes. It's almost like it's one or the other, and that
it's
kind
a ridiculous rumor. It's just because he's the top earner at the club. Yeah. That's after Messi. Well, actually, right now he is the top earner with Messi taking that big wage cut. People saying, reports. I think Alfredo Martinez, Juan Martin saying, but one of them has to go. You can't see both of them. You can see both of them. Just tell Griezmann, go from $700K a week to 200, maybe 300, then get rid of everyone else. You should be fine. And there's this, it's an agenda to say, you have to get rid of one of these players because, first of all, it gets news, like we're talking about it. And second of all, it just puts more pressure on Griezmann to make a decision sooner, because if we just let this go, dragging, we'll end up not registering Messi, or maybe not even registering Antoine Griezmann. So it's going to come down to, like I said, if he reduces his wages at the club, I think he will stay. If not, he'll probably be sold. Then again, it doesn't make sense. Why would you reduce your wages to move? Why don't you just reduce your wages to stay? It's a very complicated situation, but yes, the wages that are the main problem. Reduces it, he'll stay. If not, he'll probably get sold.
Definitely. All right, we'll head over to you then, Alex. What are your thoughts on this situation?
Well, I just don't see the deal happening by any means. I believe that it might be pressure from the club to Griezmann, but I don't really see this deal happening. It doesn't make any sense. Griezmann is twice the better player than Saul, in my opinion.
Not this deal specifically, right? Like, you can add, like, a straight swap won't work. But if you add another player, add some money, it's a possibility.
As I said, to me, it's a nonsense deal. I don't see it happening by any means. Barcelona have a love affair with Saul. We paid millions of euros just to have the right of signing this player in the past. Made no sense. Bartomeu has something with this guy. I'm not 100% sure if these rumors are so real, even though Fabrizio and these people are talking about them. At the end of the day, it's all paper talk. In my eyes, because right now Saul wasn't any determinant last season with Atletico Madrid. Griezmann was with Barcelona. Every year that he's in Barcelona, every day he's improving. He's fitting more with the club. I think I would only swap Griezmann for a player like Haaland, to be honest. Let's do this swap. I mean, swapping with Saul is possibly the worst swap I've seen in a while. You know?
Yeah, straight swap 100% will be the end of this club. You have to keep in mind market value too, right? Griezmann on the market right now is probably worth like 70 million. So if you swap him for Haaland, then that's a robbery on Dortmund's end, right? Even next year when the release clause comes in, you think
not really, because Haaland, trust me, once Haaland's contract starts running out, believe me, his price is going to start dropping quickly. Borussia Dortmund is taking a big risk not selling Haaland. I honestly think there haven't been big offers, like important offers for Haaland this summer. That reason why he hasn't left, because there's no money. I think what has happened with Haaland is that clubs have already been positioning themselves in order to sign Haaland in the next years. So trying to close an agreement, verbal agreement or some sort, possibly not close, but just move some steps forward in order to
be a bloodbath next summer, man. Absolute bloodbath.
Yeah, but see, Borussia Dortmund, they didn't sell. They would have sold this summer. Haaland was completely hyped. Now you're risking that Haaland has a bad season and his value drops by 30-40%.
No, he has a 75 million relief clause next summer. Remember that, right?
Yeah, and also that, So putting that into perspective, Griezmann swap for Haaland is a good deal in my eyes, Maybe you can add, I don't know, you can add some other player. You can add Neto to the deal. Neto, Griezmann for Haaland. Let's be creative. I think this is what we need. At the end of the day, to me, this deal is paper talk. Saul Griezmann is just not going to happen. We're gonna keep Griezmann, I believe, and hopefully he's just gonna need to have a wage deduction by 50%. I wouldn't say more than that. Messi's gonna lead the example with a wage deduction.
That's the goal, man. Exactly. I think that's the great point.
Definitely. All right, we'll move on to some potential departures then, and we'll start with kind of the big ones that were slapped on the front of Mundo Deportivo's front cover about a week ago now, and that was the whole Pjanic and Umtiti situation where, Barcelona essentially gave Pjanic and Umtiti the opportunity to leave for free. They gave them the opportunity to terminate their contracts. Both players rejected that. So both players are still at Barcelona. They checked in for their medicals this morning, I'm pretty sure. So there you go. But I think those two are key to reduce the wage bill. On top of Coutinho, we're talking about the 200 million. It's almost like a bar that we're trying to chip away at. And, we're getting there slowly with the sales. But if we get rid of Pjanic, Umtiti, and Coutinho off the wage bill in at least some way. So, we were speaking about earlier, if we loan Coutinho, for example, or sell him, and we still have to pay a bit of his wage, but not all of it, then even that's, better than nothing. I'll start with you, Barca Boy. Umtiti, Pjanic, Coutinho especially, I think are the main ones we have to talk about in terms of departures for Barcelona this summer that are absolutely essential for the club to keep living essentially on a financial level?
Those three players are rumored to be together on $1 million per week. I mean, the state of this club is unbelievable. To be honest, I think all three of them will go out on loan. With Umtiti and Pianch both rejecting the letter of freedom, I think all three of them will go out on loan. No, every club in the world knows that Barcelona is in a bad state. They won't pay a dime for any of our players. Look at it, milk us as much as they can, get as little as they can for a decent player. I think Umtiti probably going to France League. Pianch probably going to go back to Serie A. And I think Coutinho will go to the Premier League. And it's all going to be on loans. I cannot see Barcelona selling any of these three players this summer, especially for the fact that Umtiti and Pianch both rejected the letter of freedom. I wasn't surprised by Umtiti. I was quite shocked about Pianch because, you hear rumors all day, if Koeman stays, I'm not going to stay. I'm going to go to Juventus, I'll go for free, blah, blah, blah. Then when you get that opportunity, he says no. But then again, you understand, you're on $400K a week, you want some of that money at least. So they could maybe negotiate to terminate his contract from Umtiti and Pianch, give them a little bit of money instead of, going for free. That could be an option. We won't do that with Coutinho because we paid too much for him. He won't. I don't know. I think if we don't find a loan move for Coutinho, he'd be frozen out because there's no way he can reach that 100 games for Barcelona. Because if he does, that's $20 million to Liverpool. So if Coutinho does not leave, do not expect him to be in the squad. To be honest, I think Laporta will tell Koeman, look, we can't afford that. We can barely buy Jose Gaya for $15 million. There's no way. So that's my prediction. I think all three of them will go out on loan. But again, the most important thing is getting rid of them. In the end, I think we'll still be ending up paying a little bit for them. That's pretty much, if you think about it, it's pretty much reducing their wages going out on loan because then the other club will pay at least half or something for it. So it's like the quick and easy solution. It gives Laporta more time to think about it during the season, what to do. But very, very, very bad situation for the club. $1 million per week for those three players.
Yeah. All right, and Alex, on the departures, you can touch on whoever you want really because there's a whole heap of players who are going to leave. But I suppose those three are the main we're thinking about in terms of clearing out a wage bill. But how do you see this one going, and what do Barcelona need to do?
Right, thank you. So in terms of Coutinho, I believe that Coutinho is a smart guy. He's an honest guy. He's an honest player. He's not cheeky. He's Brazilian, but he isn't like Neymar. He's completely the opposite of Neymar. I see this guy going to church and stuff like that. So I expect Coutinho to understand the situation and do something about it. It's not a player like Umtiti who's forcing the situation, getting the letter of freedom and rejecting it when clearly Barcelona doesn't count on him. The thing is the money, right? For Umtiti is the money. But for Coutinho, what I was going to say is that he will most probably accept a loan deal to a big club. The problem is we have to find this big club, either Bayern Munich or I don't know. Has to be a big club
I think he'll go to a lesser club. I don't think
that can pay an important amount of money. Maybe not the exact same wage as he's getting in Barcelona because it's something astronomical, but something similar. So the player isn't too sad about it, and he gets minutes. He plays in Barcelona. It's going to be difficult for him if he stays. We're going to have to be playing Coutinho, I assume, because if he stays, dude, you're paying this guy a ton of money.
You'll save more on those variables, right?
Yeah. Just be careful with the variables. But what are you gonna do?
You're play reduce... 9 games. After 9 games, you're done.
Pretty much. I mean,
play Coutinho, pick wisely.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
The issue.
But even if he gets a 50% wage reduction, this guy is getting a ton of money still. So you cannot have a guy just sitting in the bench earning 8 to 10 million per season. It's like Umtiti. It's the same situation as Umtiti right now. So Umtiti, I'm disappointed with him. In terms of Pjanic, I think he will force himself out as well, because I don't see Pjanic forcing the situation. In terms of Umtiti, it's just sad. This guy is pumping himself in the gym like, dude, he's doing arms. His arms are like this. Like super big.
You hear about the medical report? He has a proof that he can still play at the top level. Some crap like that.
Well, yeah. There's a report. There's an old report from last season which said that he can only play for like 3 games in a row. Which is mad. Like this guy. So the problem is the wages, and the problem is that no club wants to pay his wages. So what are we gonna do? I think that he has to be careful, Umtiti, because he's very close to be kicked out of the club. Laporta is not going to be joking around with it.
Messing about, exactly.
Definitely not. And to be honest, I'm a bit tired of Umtiti. And
Yeah.
and to all of this, just to say one thing is that Laporta is doing a good job. Laporta is doing a very good job, in my opinion, since he arrived. Very good arrivals. Managing these departures with those salaries is not easy, and he's doing a very good job. Unlike Victor Font said recently in an interview, where he said he's very disappointed or a bit disappointed with Laporta. This shows the kind of character that Victor Font is. To me, Victor Font should be supporting Joan Laporta all the way. You are criticizing the president who put his money, 120 million euros, together with his colleagues of the board of directors, in the toughest situation the club has ever faced. And now you say that he's doing a bad job when the season hasn't even started, and he has signed possibly the best players, the best market opportunities out there. So Victor Font, an F.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because it kind of looks so hard for Laporta to look good right now. You know, you're talking about, this is a guy, you know, we know Laporta, he wants Barcelona to be this outstanding machine, the top of European football. And here he is trying to negotiate salaries, trying to force people out for free, having to deal with Mateus Fernandes. You know, his marquee signings are Aguero for free, Eric Garcia for free. I'm sure that's not what Laporta wanted. And I think we are seeing day by day, Laporta's angry. He's got a bit of a fire inside of him. I think he's openly upset by the situation he's found the club in. And I agree with Alex. I think he's doing a good job. And I did think it was cheeky from Victor Font to say that, because if Victor Font was president now, I think we'd be seeing Messi holding up the PSG shirt along with Sergio Ramos. So, you know,
pretty much.
So I think we needed to put that in the live, actually. So thank you for bringing that up on Laporta. We'll have the final question of the day, really. If possible, which is looking quite unlikely now, but if possible, guys, arrivals, can Barcelona bring anyone else to the club? And if so, what positions would you want to bring in or could be realistic to bring in? We'll start with you, Barca Boy.
I am very, very confident there'll be at least one more signing. We heard Laporta promising us 3 more after Depay, which is now looking near impossible. I think that one will be a midfielder. Ronald Koeman is begging for a midfielder. I think, this is why now looking back on it wouldn't have been that bad of a deal, because we could focus on something else.
Yeah.
Then again, PSG came in and just ruined us. But anyways, I think it's a midfielder. Whether it's a free deal for Paulinho, whether it's someone else on a cheap deal, I don't know who. All Ronald Koeman is telling Juan Laporta is, look, I'm happy with the squad. Get rid of those, dead players, but I need a midfielder. And he's right. You have a midfield 3 right now: De Jong, Pedri, Busquets, and you have Ricky Puig on the bench, considering PSG is going to leave. That's it. Mariba may not stay.
No.
Fernandes is already gone. You need another midfielder. I think midfielder right now is actually the priority over the center back and the left back. Center back are pretty stocked up. We have 5 center backs there. Yeah, they're not the greatest, but you gotta make what you have. Yeah. So I think a midfielder, 100%. But
pretty
one
much.
signing at least.
I mean, reason why Saul is coming up, right? Mm-hmm. You try to unload the forward player and bring in a midfielder. Saul is not the exact profile, but it's very similar profile to, let's say, Wijnaldum, Paulinho, whatever.
He's kind of like a Roberto Saul, right? He's just a better version of Roberto, can play anywhere on the pitch. So, and more so like that, CDM, box-to-box kind of player, but...
Right. Yeah, from the outside, Saul looks a bit attractive, but to be honest, I've seen his numbers in the Atletico Madrid. Yeah. He hasn't been determinant at all. So I think it would be a mistake to bring Saul. Let's look for a strong profile player. Ilaix Moriba fits the criteria, but he's just too young. Asking for some dumb money. And but I think he's going to stay. I think Moriba's going to stay for sure.
Yep.
Things are going to ease up with the agents. But so in terms of the signing, I would say definitely priority a midfielder, but also a left-footed center back, right? If Umtiti ends up leaving, that leaves us with only Lenglet as a left-footed center back. I know we have Mingueza, Araujo, all of these guys, and in terms of Mingueza, he can actually play as a left-footed center back. He can even play as a left back, but you're
right back.
And right back. He play everywhere, but we're coming down to the point where this guy is so flexible that he's not going to be outstandingly good in any of those positions, right? So in Barcelona, we need top players. I wouldn't really count on Mingueza that much. I think he's being overhyped, and yeah. So
I wouldn't be surprised if he went out on loan in January, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, because you'll see him not get that many minutes at the beginning of the season. You hear him start crying and complain like Alinea did the past year. He'll go to Ronald Koeman in January and say, look, are you going to play me or not? If not, I want to go out on loan and play 6-month loan somewhere like that in La Liga. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
right, take into account Emerson is here, Eric Garcia is here.
Yeah.
He's not going to be needed that much anymore.
Unless Koeman goes with like a 5 at the back most of the season, but I highly doubt he'll do that.
Yeah, I can see where the issues would come up for Mingueza, but I think almost like his CV from last season will carry him through a lot. You know, he was the guy who was always there for Barcelona in the defense. He was always ready to play, and Koeman did play him a lot. You know, Mingueza was playing and starting in all of Barcelona's big games last season. So I think maybe at the start you guys are right. Mingueza will be really far down in the pecking order. All of a sudden an injury happens, then another injury happens, then the defense starts playing poorly, and all of a sudden we get Mingueza playing a string of games, and Koeman says, you know what, I was right to trust you last season. I could see Mingueza having that sort of season.
Just like last season, same thing. That's how he got the team with injuries.
Similar.
Right.
I think. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just gonna say that we're kind of forgetting that seasons are like around 80 games at this point.
Yeah.
You know, they made it so long, and we're kind of used to the seasons where it's like 50, 60 games. Now it's 20 more games. They just come from the Copa America. They're gonna do this season. And then there's going to be the season where the World Cup is going to be in the winter, where it's going to cut like La Liga. It's going to be some weird stuff.
They're going to do Copa America that summer?
They're going to do World Cup next summer. It's not next summer.
It's in the winter.
It's going to be a winter. I don't know the date. It's weird.
It's December 2022.
Right.
Exactly.
What I wanted to say is that there's not going to be a summer where there's nothing, right? So there's I mean, there's going to be the summer because they're going to do it in the winter, but these players are playing 80 games per season. Like, injuries are going to be happening. So we need to be covered. And Mingueza, coming back to the point, I think he's flexible, but he reminds me too much to this kind of player of Sergio Roberto, you know. He's flexible, but not really the best in any position. So I don't want to be falling into that, to be honest. So yeah, that's the little thing just for us to think about, you know.
Yeah. Someone saying in the chat with us want to talk about saying why you guys reading Garcia over Mingueza. One started a semifinal in the Euros and the other one was sitting at home watching it. So take that into consideration.
Well, you know, I wouldn't discard Mingueza just like that. I would 100%. Give him a chance, you know. I would see just face-to-face in the training sessions, you know, Eric Garcia.
But like Pablo said, right, the only way he gets to this team is with injuries. Because PK, Garcia, Araujo, and Lenglet will be ahead of him at center back. I think the only way he gets into the injuries, if there's no injuries, he'll 100% ask for a loan move in January. I think he will go out on loan if that's the case.
I do feel like that's harsh on him. I feel like we're only going in to the new season with Mingueza rated as like our 5th best centre back just because of his name. Basically, you know, he's got the 28 shirt. He's from La Masia. I think, like I said last season, he did play a lot of football for Barcelona and was pretty reliable at the back for us. But I do agree that it is going to be hard for him. I think Eric Garcia will come in, like you guys said, starting at Wembley against Italy, playing pretty well for Spain in the European Championship semi-final. That's big. I think Eric Garcia comes in almost, and he's a player I'm really happy that we've signed actually, despite he gets a whole heap of criticism, by the way, at Eric Garcia, especially over here in England. But I think he's a good signing. Lenglet, let's wait and see what happens with him. We're hearing nothing on Lenglet right now. I'm sure later on we will. You know, we heard a little snippet on Roberto the other day as well, so let's see what happens with these guys.
But the same thing, right? If an offer comes in, he'll save us, but if not, he'll stay.
Man, it doesn't look like a big offer will come in, so that's the reason I think that Lenglet could stay.
Let's be real. Who wants him?
Yeah, and not for good money either is the main thing. But
I said in my video the other day, I think if any offer comes in, Laporta will sit down and negotiate. Let's say Inter Milan bid $5 million, he'll sit down. How about 7 plus 50% buyback option, right? First, do all that sort of stuff. I think whatever offer he can get, he'll negotiate as much as he can out of it.
He's doing well with those negotiations right now, though, Laporta, with the 50%, the first right.
I want to add that too, by the way. People, only outside people don't understand how good of a job Juan Laporta is doing. He's doing unbelievable. I think all the Culers know how much of a good job he's doing. Victor Fon, all these people. He just salted he didn't win the election.
Yeah.
I think Juan Laporta is doing a fantastic job, but it's still a long way to go. He's done the not easy part, but lesser priority parts so far. Getting rid of those, players with 1 year left on their contract. Getting rid of players that are not going to be in the squad. Now it's time for the big job. The Pjanic, the Umtiti, they're bringing in that midfielder, tying down Messi, registering the squad for La Liga. And it's kind of sucks we're not getting any help from La Liga, but we're hearing Spanish clubs may come in and help us pay, so we'll see.
Yeah, I found that interesting, yeah. All right, shall we begin to wrap it up, guys? Alex, any final thoughts?
Right, I think we pretty much covered all the topics that we wanted to cover. I see Football Channel says, thoughts on Ballon d'Or winner? It's obvious, guys. I mean, there's no debate, guys. There's no debate. It's Messi, man. Messi, number 7. The campaign has started.
Yeah.
To me, is top scorer, Copa America, top assist, top scorer in La Liga, top assists in La Liga. What else do you want?
The question is, who will be nominated with him? That's the big question. He's going to win it. Who else will be the nominees?
There's just simply no debate. Like, if Cristiano Ronaldo had won the Euros, being the top scorer, top assists, top scorer of La Liga, and top assist of La Liga, dude, there will be the biggest campaign for him. And obviously now,
I don't think Ronaldo will be top 5. I really don't think.
Man, forget about Ronaldo though. Like Juventus wasn't almost out of the Champions League.
Yeah, they celebrated the Champions League,
Yeah,
that's the thing though. But the guy they say could win it instead of Messi now, right now, second in the rankings, Harry Kane finished 7th with Tottenham.
Get that out of my face. Even if he wins the Euros, he's not winning.
If he wins the Euros and as England's
Messi's
top
won it.
scorer,
the question is, who's going to come second in what's the distance going to be looking like? That's it.
Well, the only thing I see is maybe because last year there wasn't a Ballon d'Or award. Lewandowski could be creeping in, just because of last year.
You know what? I had someone comment on one of my videos saying, imagine Messi goes against the Ballon d'Or and then says, "Oh, just want to shout out last year's winner, Lewandowski."
Yeah, but that was harsh. That was harsh on Lewandowski last year, wasn't it? I don't know why they really cancelled it. We caught up with the games anyway, but yeah.
And then FIFA had their awards as France footballers being.
Yeah.
They cancelled it because it was a very weird season, so it would be a weird award. But they gave the Ballon d'Or to Modric, so you give it to Lewandowski. He deserves it more than Modric.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
People say Kante coming second. I mean, he's not the second best player in the world. I think if he won the Euros, he could have came second. But I think it'll be the big names, like Lewandowski, maybe a Harry Kane if he wins the Euros. Maybe Kante can come third, but. I'd be shocked if Ronaldo even came top 10, to be honest.
Yeah, I think if France went far in the Euros, I think Kante really, really would have been up there because the Champions League and the Euros, I think that's
if Messi won the Copa America, no chance.
Yeah. Well,
Messi didn't win the Copa and he won the Euros. And
my hope is that they actually rate the Copa America though, because I still feel that they rate the Euros up here in the Copa America, like here. That's the way I still see it in their rankings.
They will rate Copa America like no other.
I mean, look at the final right now in the Euros. You have the best player in Italy is Insigne, Chiesa. They've won nothing. Best player in England, Harry Kane.
Yeah, it's by like a few years ago. You had Cristianos, you had bigger players, maybe better teams. Now I think Copa America is a bit more competitive than the Euros, especially this year. Sure. I mean, just look at the final, dude, and the way they were playing. They were like butchering themselves. They were like breaking their legs.
I watched all the games. It's a war.
It's a war. In Europe, it's completely different. I mean,
I think in the game against Colombia, there were 50 fouls and 10 yellow cards in that game.
And what kind of fouls? Like they're like it's like kicking off. It's a fight.
Yeah, that Montiel with his leg was all red, full of blood.
Right. I mean, but we've seen countless fouls that are like dramatic. Like they would have been condemned with like 10 match ban for here in Europe, there maybe it wasn't even a foul there,
Yeah.
So you have to rate the Copa America. If you don't, man,
they will.
It's rigged. It's all
now all the hype with it being Messi's first trophy. There's no competition for the Ballon d'Or. Just the question is who's going to come second and third.
Right.
I think that's a very open debate. I see someone saying in the chat, Sam. 1 Messi, second, and Lewandowski 3. Kante, that'd be my bet. If I was a betting man, that's how I'd bet it. But we'll see. My own thing is that Messi number 1. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we'll see who wins tonight. The Euros. Maybe Kane scores a hat trick, or maybe I don't know.
If he scores 5 goals, he'll win the Ballon d'Or. I promise.
I still feel watch out for Kane. They will love that. I think it'd be ridiculous, but they love the Euros.
Pablo, the English media can do all they want. They ain't taking the Ballon d'Or off Messi, man. They ain't.
I hope not, man.
Because
I hope not.
he can honestly, if he can score 10 goals and win the Euros, I still think Messi would easily win it. The gap is just way too big. Look at the bookies. He's a clear favorite.
Yeah.
To me, there's no debate. I mean, just look at the numbers. Messi, top
now,
scorer
honestly.
of La Liga and Copa America. La Liga and Copa America, he's top scorer, top assists as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Player of
Most
the
important part.
season in both sides. Like, dude, this guy, he's won everything.
Remember, guys,
he's
the
won
most
every
important
individual title that you can get. He's got it. What else do you want? Oh, collective title, dude. You want everything? You need to win everything in order to win the Ballon d'Or? No.
Yeah.
He's won every single individual title you can get. What else do you want?
The most important thing is that he is the best player in the world. There's no other debate. You can talk about, Conte. I hate this narrative, right, of, Conte wins the Champions League, he has to get the Ballon d'Or. He's not the best. The award is for the best footballer in the world.
Agreed. But they've proven that they don't do it on that. They do it on who's won the big things or who's reached the final stages of the big competitions.
They've
proven
that part of the award will seal it for Messi this year. He's the best player in the world, and he also won the Copa America.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah,
it's big for the Ballon d'Or thing, and it's great for him, obviously, personally with Argentina. But for the Ballon d'Or, it's big that he won the Copa America. It's massive.
I can't wait for those pictures, man. The 7 in front of him. I saw an interview of Ronaldo doing with Piers Morgan saying that, my dream is to get 8 Ballon d'Or. Now he's on 5. Messi's 1 away from it. So just love to see
8. That's going to be very hard.
Just love to see it, man.
Anyway, guys, I think we should wrap it up there. I want to thank everyone for coming in the live today. We'll probably do a few more, jotted around all 3 of our channels. These guys' links, they're in the title, and I've also put them in the description, guys. So if you want to go to their channel, subscribe, they do loads of Barca content too, then please go ahead and do that, guys. Again, you two, thank you for coming on the channel again and talking about Barcelona.
Yeah, no problem, man.
My pleasure, Pablo. Barca Boy, again. Good chat with you guys.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you all soon. Goodbye.